Sometimes it is about spaceships, though, right, Rob?
It was funny yesterday, right at the end of the show. We spent the whole time talking about a spaceship, and then it goes right to Lucas telling us it's not about spaceships. I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah, it was completely about spaceships yesterday, and which just goes to show you that George Lucas isn't always right. You know, if you want to defer to George Lucas, sometimes he's wrong. And
If I had to choose between spaceships and Yesms, I mean it's a razor thin margin. Right? Like,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
But I gotta go spaceships.
George's fault, all of it.
I mean, do
Ruined
you see
my
any
life.
spaceships behind me? No, it's just figures. It's all about the figures. Look at it. All the figures.
Yeah, really quickly, I guess was to get into the first thing of the news of the day, so that way people who are tuning in are like, "Hey, it took too long." No, nobody actually complains. LRM has their Barside Buzz, right? And I just think it would be funny if they were like, "Buzz, Buzz, I'm a bee." Sorry, that would be so dumb. All right. Anyways, Ahsoka will film earlier than expected. Buzz, Buzz, I'm a bee. I'll call this Barside Buzz, the ever reliable production.
Every time you do that, I'm gonna laugh. I don't know why.
Buzz,
you could just randomly do, yeah.
Yeah. Therefore,
it's funny.
So here's the thing: is Mando is still shooting. Mando didn't finish, and that would allow Ahsoka to move into the studio to use the volume stage in LA. And this is where I originally saw it, and then right here is a copy of the listing. And there's a couple of things I just want to throw out there. Like I said, Mando still filming, but one of the things that I want to throw out also is that usually they come back from Christmas break. It's a bit slow. It picks up again, and what I would call reshoots. And I know the internet gets really stupid when you say reshoots. They're all, oh, that means it's shit. It means it's bad, and therefore they had to remake the whole thing or something. You know how it goes. People don't understand how production works, even after since they've been doing this since Phantom Menace. But they basically start doing pickups, and it's a bit slower, and then it gets going. Well, this little image here that I got right here, if you notice, it says it's Huckleberry Industries, and that's not the code for Star Wars Ahsoka. Star Wars Ahsoka has a different code. And I also seriously know
Snozberries.
4 or 5. Yeah, well, I mean, I know like 4 or 5 people who are, I'm just going to play it like super vague, who are either working on Ahsoka, were offered Ahsoka, you know what I mean, or know people on Ahsoka, you know what I mean. So let's just make it. And here's the thing: none of those people needed to be ready at this moment that I know of. So I'm highly suspect about this meaning what we think it means. I'm not saying that there's not a chance that Ahsoka isn't filming something or isn't starting or even doing just like something. Maybe there's a tie-in that happens closer to one of the current shows that's coming before. I don't know. I can't tell you how that would work, but I'm just trying to figure out what it can mean. Maybe Mandalorian season 3 is going to set it up, but I'm pretty sure it's really confusing. It doesn't make sense is my point. It doesn't make any sense. On the flip side of it, like I remember when I went down to Manhattan Beach, they literally tried to hit me with a car. They tried to crash a car into my car so I would hit it, and then I would be like a danger to the area. Like it was a complete fucking setup. But I play video games. I'm quicker than you, and you didn't get me. No, but not to get all Alex Jones.
If you ever film that moment of your life, I want it to be Larry David as you, and I want it to be Peter Dinklage as the guy in the car.
Yeah,
yeah. Because Dinklage has such an intensity, man. I rewatched Elf the other day,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I really feel he would kill everyone in that room. Like, I don't think that's even like the most aggressive children's writer ever.
Yeah. So if you go to the Apollo structure, over in El Segundo to try to look down at the Mandalorian set right now. I've heard that they are trying to like kind of in essence card everyone. Why are you here? Why are you parking here? And it's a Lucasfilm job, you guys. So
why are you parking here? You gotta
has been infected.
Why are you parking here?
Mm-hmm. That's
it's impossible, bro. When I was a kid, there's a parking garage in downtown. Not it's near downtown. It's by the Star of India. There's a parking garage where all the airplanes go over. yeah. It's where all the airplanes fly right over when they land at the airport, right in San Diego. And my uncle would just take me to the parking garage to watch the airplanes land because I loved watching the PSA. We want the big smiley face on it. Yeah, this big airplane with a smiley face on it. And I mean, like, what do you care? What are the rules of a parking garage? No loitering.
Well, yeah. What I think has happened is I think Disney / Lucasfilm is likely literally rented out the whole top floor of the parking structure. Because and that structure used to be pretty full. There was times when I would have to like struggle to find parking. Pandemic hit. It was empty. It was easy to find me after that, and and so I think that they may have made a sweet deal. I also think that maybe the person at the front gate who is asking people may not be employed by the parking structure. Maybe they're paying to be there, but I think that it's a Disney thing. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious to me. I mean, I'm to the point now where like I really don't care anymore. Like it's like.
Did the car say 14 Thor on it? Like,
yeah.
People may not know that reference, but I do.
Watch Curb Your Enthusiasm if you never had. I mean, it's I definitely can relate. But that that said, might the increased security and insanity be related because of the Ahsoka show? It's totally possible. It's sort of weird that they're going that crazy about that place though, because you can't see shit anymore. Like Bespin Bulletin maybe got the last good screenshot out of theirs or a picture when one of his friends went down, and that guy was like standing on top of the crates. Like that never happens. Like the fact that they got that was so lucky. You know what I mean? Like that is very strange. Like I was throwing parties down there. Like one time it was pretty rad.
Could you throw a tailgate at a parking garage? Like
I did.
What's the difference between a tailgate in a parking garage and a tailgate in a parking lot?
I had a bunch of friends down there. There was the devil's grass. People were skateboarding. It was a great time. I mean, they didn't even say shit. They don't even know about it.
You know who you are as a scooper? You're Corey Feldman in The Burbs. Right, like you bring a whole party to these guys infiltrating a whole house.
I mean, it's like one time one of the guys from Huckleberry came over and he's all, "You're paparazzi," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, paparazzi, buddy? Here, get a little Hollywood
paparazzi.
Here. You know what I mean? What are you? Right. Are you Star Wars Secret Service security guard?"
Right.
Give me a fucking break, dude. You're a security guard and I'm a dork. That's what we are here. But But anyways, yeah, it was bye. It was fun, but if anybody wants to try to go over there and get in, just so you know, that's what you're up against. But I will also say it's not that hard. I'm gonna throw it out there. Not that hard just to go and look at what businesses are in the area and say, "Oh, I'm over here at blank industries." That's all you have to do. I mean, it's like, what are they going to do? Can I see your work badge? Like, they're not going to do that for fucking guest parking. Give me a break.
Right.
And I could easily just fake that too. So it's all a dog and pony show. It's all a dog and pony show, Rob. Is that how it goes? Is it dog and pony show? What the fuck?
Man, I've never been to a dog and pony show.
Yeah, dog and pony show. What is that?
Yeah, I feel like it's something Triumph should have set up, right? Welcome to the Westminster Dog and Pony Show. We were
Yeah.
thinking it's like it's in a parking garage in El Segundo, but we're having it in El Segundo. Getting the Star Wars pics.
Yeah, it's funny, right here's Rosecrans, and there's pretty much that parking structure is
I
right
am
off.
Puppy Ratsy.
Yeah, but dude,
Puppy
they
Ratsy.
fucking pissed me off when the guy tried to hit me. You know what I mean? I was like, "Ooh, you little son of a bitch!"
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad it was Jason now, because younger Jason would have been like, "Let's fight," like an idiot. But
For those younger people, if we got them, maybe a Johnny or someone younger than Johnny, you do chill out a bit when you get older. I was surprised.
yeah,
You do.
but
Weird.
so there is always a chance, like with Star Wars, The Force Awakens, for instance, you had Foodles and you had Avco, and they were both making the same Star Wars movie, but they were different elements. There were different companies making the same movie, different elements of the movie, and so there is a chance that Huckleberry is sort of overseeing all of this stuff, and it's like just the real general moniker, and and maybe they even went with Huckleberry to obscure that it's Ahsoka filming. I mean, there's all kinds of like conspiracy theory kind of like rabbit holes we could jump down to make this work. I do have to
Rabbit catcher
say,
holes.
yeah, but what I am gonna throw out there is that maybe uh, Star Wars fans who found this originally are getting ahead of themselves, because a filming date and a production date are not the same thing. So there is a chance that what is going on right now is that they're going to start building stuff. So carpenters and things like that are going to start to get hired on. You know what I mean? Extras might start to be, and featured performers may start to be cast, because we're going to need you available for the original start date, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so I don't really know if that's what this is. And I'm pretty sure anybody who pretends at this moment, well, I shouldn't say anybody who pretends, I don't know, but it just seems unlikely to me. Does that make sense? Does that seem like a reasoned take on this to you?
Well, they're also, yeah, I think it's also reasonable because they're in the middle of filming Mando 3, and I don't know. These are the same crews,
There
right?
is no way
I mean,
Mando is done yet. Like, there is just no fucking way.
yeah, and I
And
know Dave Klein's doing the cinematography for all of Mando 3. I gotta imagine he's on Ahsoka as well. He seemed like he's an extremely made man over there right now. You
yeah,
know? And so I just think that these two productions are like the same crew. So Bando 3 would have to be on the tail end for this to be, and that's still aggressive. I mean, folks, crews they need to work, but they also need to recoup, you know? Like,
yeah. Sometimes the schedules. Well, I get the vibe, and I overall that like the Favreau productions are pretty fair. Like I've never seen them working on a weekend. You know what I mean? So it's like I
oh,
do
nice.
think that I do think
It's only when my friend who's a DP works. Yeah, he's always like, "Hey man, I'm going to Texas for the weekend." I'm like, "These fucking dudes,"
I know my friends who work in production. It's always like I can't, I'm dead, I'm dead, and then all of a sudden it's like 5 days in a row. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, dude, do you do anything now? Because of the way that this shit works.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like when I text you at 4 a.m, you're like, "Sleep? Why are you awake?" Well,
you're always like, you up? And I'm like, yeah, come over. No, anyways,
I'm coming over stinky, just so you know.
oh my, that's how I like it. That's how I like it. Like but
You were like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah, is there anything this little description kind of makes me laugh. It's kind of ridiculous. A Star Wars spin-off series set with the timeline of the Mandalorian. Ahsoka Tano is a Togruta female. Nobody needs to know that she's a Togruta female. That's just filling up the word count. Who was the Padawan learner to Anakin Skywalker and a hero of the Clone Wars. Alongside Anakin Skywalker, she grew from headstrong student to a mature leader, but her destiny laid along a different path than the Jedi. Ahsoka is on the hunt for the evil Grand Admiral Thrawn in the hope it will help her locate the missing Ezra Bridger, the young Jedi that escaped with Thrawn many years ago. Season 3 of The Mandalorian wraps March 23rd. Okay, there you go at the end. Wraps March 23rd, 2022. So
yeah, so this was to start Ahsoka like the day after. I mean, I imagine Ahsoka would start. It would at least have a month, you know.
yeah, because that's pretty much what I was told was that, or what I was hearing a while ago was that work would be ramping up around April, but it would go until the end of the year though. And so I don't know what that means for Ahsoka. I don't know if it means it's a lot of episodes, if it's a slow production, or if there's a break. You know what I mean? Who knows? There could be a lot of reasons for different things. Like the other rumor is that Cassian Andor may be broken up. Maybe like 12 episodes, but it may be broken up, so it's technically 2 seasons, but not really. Hey, look, it's Horn Pits. I don't know. I know it's a spam one, but I just like that its name is Horn Pits. Oh man, Horn Pits, you dirty dog.
I know I can't cover that stuff. I was supposed to have a conversation with you about it, but I keep forgetting. I'm like, well, it'll come up. We have to
Horn Pits.
Forgot a way to moderate it.
I have links turned off in the chat, so I don't think anybody could even click it and go anywhere, as far as I know anyway. So yeah, what is our chat saying? So you plan to have the actors available for the shoot, even major shoots run into problems where they go without an actor, like No Way Home just did. Oh, sorry.
Hey man, line producers are the unsung heroes of COVID.
Yeah.
People don't know what a line producer is. Like, that person has to schedule everyone being there. And I just got to imagine, let alone crazy multiple, like, what do you call it? Guest appearances is one thing, but like just getting everyone on board, and available and there is challenging enough. It's why a lot of Paramount's been doing that, or is it Paramount? Yeah, whoever's doing the Star Trek shit, like they're now filming like a season almost ahead. They're like filming these giant seasons as one long movie now,
right?
Because it's easier to have everyone working for 6 months on at one time and then gone for 6 months than this 3 months on, 1 month off, 1 month on, 2 months off. Like, it's got to be a nightmare for them.
I know. Well, you know what it is, Geek Mr. Furious, is that this interface is so really crappy. And now on it says double click to update, and I can't even see what the person who the person is who's saying it half the time. It's like I don't know why I would even need that. Like, I double click it. I can't double click that. It doesn't make any sense how they have this thing set up at the moment. Ewan and Frank Oz trying to drive straight into Jason in the anti-Ward mobile. Yeah. I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, oh yeah, that time that Obi-Wan Kenobi crashed into me, that was funny. But
here's how you Larry David it, Jason.
Yeah.
Is it starts off with the Dinklage coming after you, and you're all pissed, right? And then you see Ewan and you think Ewan's also doing it to you, right? Like, he's chasing, he's trying to follow you back, but he's just coincidentally going to like Frank Oz's place or something, and then it turns into this fucking whole thing that doesn't actually exist,
That sounds right. All right.
And then Ewan has to kick the shit out of you, but at least yell at you down into a corner. Like, that would be like the Larry David thing. You're just, okay, man, okay, all right.
So I didn't pull the video for the next little Ewok bit here. Okay, I didn't do it.
All right.
I just pulled the image off of the Reddit.
This is what Star Wars Santa was talking about.
Yeah, so basically they're like, it's like one of those BuzzFeed kind of things, and it's like, what character do you want to fuck, or what character do you want to be with, or some bullshit like that, right? Which characters you in bed or something, who knows, right? And but they Morrison picks the Ewok, And quote says, "I like those Ewoks. They were great to work with." So, so is that number one? It could be Tamara Morrison's just general joke. I'm in the Star Wars universe, so I know everybody. Kind of like it could just be a broad joke that gets extrapolated upon by losers like myself. But I kind of don't think so in a way, because the way it played kind of strangely. People have suggested that, oh, he is mistaking it for a Jawa. He's not going to mistake it for a Jawa. He knows enough about Star Wars and enough about the place to know the fucking difference between a Jawa and
he doesn't have cognitive decline.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
That is such a stretch. Yeah. You'd be more likely to mistake Jawas for sand people because they're in the sand. You know what I mean? Like, you would think they're like little sand people. Like, yeah, no, that's not it, man.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to throw out there, and here's my cognitive decline. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure when I was down looking at the mirrors set for Book of Boba, like a year or so ago now, during the first start of the pandemic, I think there were Navarro sets up at the time. And I think I even ran a story saying Navarro's back for Mando season 3. Great, more Navarro. Dave Navarro.
I remember that.
Really happy, yeah. And so what does that tell us about the next episode? And I remember when people were like, Grief Karga's coming. I was like, yeah, no shit. That was how I felt about it.
You think Grief drops a case of Ewoks on them, just lets them run rampant like in the city?
Well, I think it's good for the Book of Boba. I think it means that they're going to finally leave Tatooine. They have the Slave One, and I think that we're gonna. I mean, either we get more sideways to Mandalorian, which I don't think we will. I hope we don't. But I think that we're probably going to see them go to Grief Karga, maybe to hire bounty hunters. Is my speculation, and that is also
Ewok bounty hunter.
My memory serves correct. It came to me when I was watching Star Wars Santa show today. So if my memory is correct, so I think that they're going to finally get off Tatooine next episode, Book of Boba, and that's how all of this stuff ends up playing out. We do hear that I don't know, what is that, a fucking space harmonica? I don't know what that Mando instrument is, that like wood pipe.
Oh yeah, it's the ocarina, man.
Yeah, little thing.
Yeah, it's the ocarina.
And so I'm guessing, he's like, well, I could go to Grief Karga and hire the Mando that way, or maybe I just know to go to him. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's how this is going to work. So, or maybe he goes to Mando first, and then Mando takes him there, and it's like, I know a guy who could get us guys. You know what I mean? That would make sense too. Mm-hmm. So I hope that's true, because it's going to be a breath of fresh air. Even though I'm like a little bit like, I don't really want to go back to places we've already been so much. Like, I'm not dying to see that planet again, but at this point, after all this Tatooine, I'm down for it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's get off Tatooine for a little while.
It is just another rocky planet, though. It's not like going to Endor.
Right. I mean, it has lava. I know it has trees now in season 3. It has trees. So maybe for all I know, maybe we're going to see some of that in this one, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah. So
well, what's funny? Hold on, because I just thought about this. When the fans were first talking about the possibility of the Obi-Wan series, there was a whole thing. Hey man, he doesn't even need to leave Tatooine. Just do it about all on Tatooine, one little location. Like 7-8 episodes. It's gonna be great. And then I'm like, people are begging to get the fuck out of this planet now. Not to say they still couldn't have told an interesting story set in one location, even Mos Eisley, but it's like part of the Mando's charm was like, I don't think people will understand, like, part of that charm is leaving places and going to other places.
Yeah.
makes up for a bit of the plot, you know, and you can just like cut to an exterior, one here, land, see some shit. You know, like you can fill a little bit of a filler move, you know, and not a bad filler move, but when you lose that and it's the same spot, like, it's like,
Hey, Revenge Guy.
imagine if it was just Obi-Wan's hut, you know, like you open it up and it's just him in that room staring at a wall.
Well, I mean, it's like when you just think of Star Wars, it's like anything can happen. Whatever your mood is you're almost able to like go and select what color palette you want. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff. Like, and when you put it all into one space for a long time, you're like, why are you doing this to me? You could literally take me anywhere. You could do anything. You could offer so much more. And so I am glad that I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, by the way, I have no idea. Star Wars Santa just dropped this, and I don't know where it came from. So it could just be I don't not to say he doesn't know who to cite or whatever, but he didn't say where he heard it and where the rumor was. But he's all like, the rumor is that it like we're going to see like the water return to Tatooine by the end of Book of Boba. And I was like, I don't think so. But I was like, if they did that, that would be the equivalent of blowing up Coruscant.
Yeah, how you return water to a whole planet? Like,
yeah,
because I'm asking for our planet. Like how do you?
He said it starts to rain at the end. It starts to rain at the end, like real serious rain. I guess maybe I embellished it. Maybe it's just it rains.
What, the wills? I don't know. Like that.
I mean, it's not.
You know what they do?
But
they gather up all the lizards and then they disintegrate them in the air, and it lets out all the magic lizard shit, and then everyone just sees rain. Yeah, it doesn't actually rain, but they see it.
Yeah.
So he's actually not wrong.
I gotta say, Rick,
lizard habit.
on a quick side note, Rick, does Fennec have to change her batteries and maintenance or cybernetic parts? You know, I was thinking about this, and just not to just keep bitching about the show, but man, when she's eating that chicken, I was thinking how much cooler it would be if she, you know, couldn't eat anymore, and if she saw I miss food, and she just couldn't eat anymore. Like you know what I mean? She had to like drink like some slush or something. Like
there's so many missed opportunities, my friend. Or if she has like a little bag she's got to like take out, like I eat this, but I don't fucking, because she's, I don't know, man. Like so many opportunities, but
yeah, it's like if you're gonna go weird, man. You know. Okay. We have a screenwriter here. Fade in, exterior, sand planet. Boba walks through an empty scene. We follow him for a long time, about as much time as we need to hit 48 minutes for this episode. That sounds right, man.
It's very clever. Very clever. I like it.
Yeah, but Revenge Guy is right. It is still dry in episode 9, at least where Luke Skywalker grew up. But yeah, I don't know if it rains and we have our Andy Dufresne moment where he's like looking up. He's like, I'm just gonna be like, fuck this show. I'm turning this shit off.
The moisture farmer walks out. You know what this means? Going out of business.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me ask you this too. This is all just stupid shit that's gone through my head. I had to watch them again with my kids. By the way, my kids didn't see the new one. They're like, we want to watch the other ones too. We want to do that, Dad. And I'm like, all right, I'll just be on my phone real low key while you guys do that. And so we watched. They watched them all. And I gotta say, I enjoyed the episode a hell of a lot more watching it with my kids. You know, my critical brain was turned off a lot. And like I said, I try not to like say things out, you know, that's like going to ruin anything for them. You know what I mean? But I did enjoy the episode more just going with it and seeing what was pleasing them just as kids, you know, like, okay, that just works for them. That's just good to them. I take the stuff for granted because I've seen it so much. They haven't. And but yeah, there's all kinds of little things that keep catching my brain as I'm watching it. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. You guys could have done something more fun here at times. But anyways,
it should be an action figure show. I'm sorry.
What did you think though, Rob? Do you think based off of just this little arbitrary evidence that we have, do you think that was Tamara Morrison fucking up like Antonio Banderas? I die in the new movie. I die for Indy. I die for him.
That's not how he is. He goes, and I die.
Yeah. It's like you know, a little bit of orgasm came out at the end when he said it.
Look, man, never underestimate. I've been to Spain. Not everyone has that suave accent. That is legitimately, that is a master at speaking. That is a Latin thespian. I'm telling you, man. Like that Puss in Boots voice that he does, like that could really sound like a bad Speedy Gonzalez, you know, racist trope with the wrong fucking, you know, hands. But he's so fucking, the voice helps sell the image, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So good. And they die. I'm like, shit, man. Fuck. I feel like every time he says that, leaves blow in the wind.
Is he still married to Meg Ryan?
Melanie Griffith?
Or Melanie Griffith? Yeah.
I think so, but I don't know, man.
Is it Melanie Griffith who was in Top Gun?
It was Melanie Griffith. No. That's
that was Meg Ryan.
That's I'm forgetting. Fucking, why am I forgetting her name? It's like all gel. I can see the colors. You know what I mean? Like, McGillis, Kelly McGillis, something like that.
No. I'm talking about Goose's woman, dude. Goose's woman.
Oh, that's Meg Ryan is Goose's woman. No, that's Melanie Griffith is Working Girl, bro. Like,
okay. Yeah.
That's he was married to Harrison Ford's woman.
Okay.
Step up from Goose.
Maybe going after Goose gave him some powers. You know, I was going to suggest that maybe it was.
I just realized that he took Indy's chick in a way, right? So like, and now Indy's like, and now you die.
I feel like this show is just been so freaking weird that I think an Ewok is just going to show up. I just think for almost no reason it just will.
Yeah, we could never predict it. So go with it at this point.
It'll just be like an Ewok, like, you know, drinking a beer or something, probably. And you know, I'm okay with it. I don't care.
I do want to see an Ewok order a giant beer like they would in the Hobbit movies.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Or how about this? A fucking Ewok comes out, you know, she like has like the Nisa pink like cowl on, but she also has like that dog lady's like bikini on, and then walks away with black croissant, and you're like, oh shit, that's what he's into.
And while he's walking away, he goes, why is that stuck in my head, bro? Like that's
well, people don't know that Dunda 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 is actually an ancient Ewok HJ song, in case you don't know what that means. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I don't know. Chat has no opinion about Ewoks. Chat's just like, you know what? We are destroyed. We're done. We don't know anymore. We don't know what to think.
They're bored.
This leaked out. So Lego Star Wars, Bespin Bulletin had the scoop on it. Okay, so it was Star Wars Newsnet that was talking about the possibility. Okay, yeah, they should talk about the possibility of not shitting on Bespin Bulletin once in a while. Is what they should be talking about, because Bespin Bulletin fucking got this right too. They got the Lego Star Wars story right. And as did, I remember, As It True was like, hey, it's coming. And then Bespin Bulletin came in and was like, it's coming, and had the date and everything. So good job, Bespin Bulletin. I get the bullet tingle on my special parts. That's when I know it's true. And yeah, so there's supposed to be like this is what 7 character packs are coming. That's quite a bit. You know, I'm only one man. How do you want me to buy all this shit for my kids? My kid's gonna want all of it. I actually shot a video of it. I didn't convert it. I forgot to convert it. I woke my son up today. I was like, Luke, wake up, and he's like, he doesn't want to go to school. You know, I'm like, wake up, man. I'm like, I got good news. And he's like, what? And I'm like, Lego Star Wars is coming out in April. He sits up. He's like, how long is that? And I'm like, oh, I'm all, it's in January.
You failed the first grade, kid.
Yeah, pretty much. No, he counts on his fingers and he's like, that's only 3 months. I was like, yeah, and he was energized. He got up, he went to school. He knew he had to go to. Yeah, hey, that's the truth there. Yeah, I remember. My kids saw the that it was coming through Azatru. I always watch his Azatru's channel, and it's been a busy day today. Yeah, it has. Lots of little stuff. I mean, but yeah, there's so right here you can see season 1 of, or at least a Mandalorian pack is coming, a Rogue One with Jyn Erso pack, and it looks like a Bad Batch pack is promised here through this image. Classic characters. So I think that's a Solo, a Star Wars story, Trooper pack, Mandalorian, Bad Batch. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm into it. And then, well, okay, so yeah, so it's coming out. What I say, April 5th. April 5th is when it's coming out, and yeah, so it's not that far away. A part of me hasn't really cared too much about it personally because I've been looking at like through like the lens of my son who just wants it, and I figure I won't even be able to play it because he'll just be on it. But you know, like doing his thing with his buddies. But as I was watching some of the videos today, I was like, look at this guy. What are these two bitching about today? Your mom. That's what we're bitching about. Your mom. That's a good one. But I like the Lego games too.
I fucking love everything, man. It's the best ever, isn't it? Oh, we should do this like sweaty balls, right? I love it. Yeah, it's the best ever. I love this episode. Right. I
have to say that episode 4 of Boba Fett was the best Star Wars since the last best Star Wars, which was the last episode of the Bad Batch, which was so good.
That's fantastic.
It was fantastic. You're right. It was good. You know what I mean? It was very good. I was pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Yeah. When everything's good, nothing's good. That's what it comes out to. But
it's so happy. Yeah.
All right. So let me
share Patreon. Like and subscribe Patreon.
If you want to become a Patreon supporter, I will tell you everything you want to hear. I will regurgitate everything back to you that makes you happy. If you give me $9.99 a month, it's on. But so there was this article, and I haven't read it, but Rob told me about it.
And, this is the downer. This is where we complain.
Everything is good. This article is not true. It's all not true. But Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has led to extensive crunch at TT Games, and we all know that crunch is good. You like that crunch in your potato chips? You like that crunch in your Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch
cereal. Sorry, Polygon and video game industry, but we don't want any soggy bullshit. We like it crunchy. Yeah, great. Lucasfilm. All right. The longtime Lego game studio has spent about 5 years on its latest project. In late 2017, development studio TT Games began work on Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga at a time when dozens inside the company were at odds with management. Citing frustration over tight development schedules, the company's crunch culture, which we all agree that we like crunch. It's good. It's a snack.
I just want the games, man. I want to hear about it. I just want the games, man. I want to hear about it.
Right.
I want to hear about it.
I've always kind of considered us an outdated development tool. More than 20 current and former game employees tell Polygon that calls for change over the years had largely been ignored. Multiple people who worked at the studio, past tense, studio, remember breaking down outside of work hours before the workload and some of the stress they were under. It
fucking
was
millennials, man.
You know what? I'm tired of these people trying to disparage. They got a job. Do it, bitch. Fuck, everything's good. Everything's great.
Oh, bitch. Like the Freddy character from Rick and Morty. Do it, bitch.
Good bitch.
Oh man, he's so aggressive. Okay.
So it was very soft-spoken blackmail. One former employee says, I mean, I have friends of all races. Why do you got to mention that they're black? You know what I mean? Come on.
Oh shit, we're doing that joke. All right, Star Wars Santa. It's a
if
whole joke.
If people don't start doing overtime, there's going to be problems. There's going to be, although the problems were never specified. Some former staff even came up with terms to describe their experience at the studio, referring to them as PTTSD. Get it? TT? PTSD?
I want that sloth smile.
You're
sloth
right.
smile. Insert sloth smile. I like it.
So with the Skywalker saga and an adaptation of all 9 main films in the Star Wars series, management promised employees a longer development timeline and a new engine. Unfortunately, this did little to improve the situation, according to employees. So what does that mean? I mean, a promise doesn't mean anything. So did they get it or did they not get it? I'm kind of confused right now.
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
Okay. Get it.
Nope. So promising it, it doesn't do shit. Multiple staffers said the management ignored warnings about switching to NTT, a new engine being developed internally, and say that the longer time frame was unsuccessful in alleviating crunch. But we've all talked about how we like crunch, right? Over the past few months, Polygon has spoken to about 30 current and former TT Game employees, all of whom spoke anonymously due to non-disclosure agreements. 30 is a lot. That's a pretty big claim on their part. I'm not saying I don't believe them. That's a pretty big claim, though. You have like these people that are like, oh, I'm hearing this, and they have like one person who told them, and then they went and ask a bunch of their friends. What are you hearing too? But this Polygon clearly does their work. 30 is a lot. They opened up about the studio's challenging work culture over the last decade and a half, and the Skywalker saga's difficult development cycle. 2 years have passed since TT Games and publisher Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment announced the Skywalker saga, and the game has been through 3 delays. Meanwhile, TT Games, which employs hundreds, has seen high staff turnover and has undergone a change in management since development on the Skywalker saga began.
Yeah, so they cut ship and ran.
As somebody who doesn't know, I know a bit about like general production on, films and shit like that. It is sort of weird to me that this game was like difficult, or that, you know what I mean? That like, it almost feels like the Lego things would almost be something that they could do in their sleep today. It's sort of strange that this one was like, I wonder if
it looks simple.
Yeah.
The fallacy of strong art design gives you the impression that the simpler it looks, the easier it must be to make.
Not necessarily that as much as the fact that like the format is done. Like they've been doing Lego Star Wars games for 20 years now. And so it's like you would almost think it's just the same thing with better graphics. What's the big fucking deal? But I'm wondering
except new animations, new physics, new lighting engine, multiplayer, right? The back end to handle if they need, some gameplay mechanic that allows you to jump in between sagas, that, there's so many, multiple platforms. I think people, I don't think it gets into it here, but another problem is a family game has to release on every system there is simultaneously. So you're not developing for one platform, you're developing for several. And I don't know if you've noticed, the Switch is a little bit different than the PS5, like architecturally speaking, so
I don't know what you're talking about. A Lego Empire, the company's challenge started well before the Skywalker saga, according to staff. The culture at Crunch and TT Games goes back to the company's formation in 2005. That was when, following the success of Lego Star Wars the video game, British game Traveller's Tales acquired publisher Giant Interactive, forming what we know today as Titty Games.
Because over the media acquisitions they're the best when companies just buy everything. They solve all the problems.
Yeah, I was on $3 Theater, Matt Darbo's show last night, and he went over like what happened when AT&T bought Warner Brothers, and like how like all these various shows just got shit canned, and all these people got fired and stuff like that. And how, you know, everyone's always about like acquisitions, but he's like, no, it's actually pretty bad. A lot of shit that you love gets destroyed. A lot of people lose their jobs and all kinds of bullshit. So, anyways, over the years, TT Games has found tremendous success with this line of Lego games, producing well-reviewed titles that have sold millions of copies and won awards. These days, they are commonly referred to as some of the most family-friendly games available due to their
won the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards for video games in 1997. Like, oh shit, motherfucker!
You know what? That's the one that matters. You know what? It's always an honor to be nominated, but People's Choice, the Kids' Choice Award, that's the one that matters.
We won the Mountain Dew Power Achievement for... and they need that Mountain Dew Power Achievement with like those Athenian Greco-Roman like leaves that they put around fucking every award that you hand out. Yeah.
Brought to you by Monster Energy Drink Tween. But former employees say that the company's decision to release new Lego games annually resulted in a culture of crunch. 6 former employees who worked under John Burton, co-founder and creative director at Titty Games, says he would often yell at staff to return to their desk if they tried to leave. Hey, you get back to your desk! And that he regularly expected employees to put in extra hours. How many extra hours you put in today? Do some more. Others, meanwhile, remember leads following employees out of the studio. Excuse me, Rob, where are you going? We need more t-shirts, Rob. Rob, can you draw some more t-shirts, Rob? Rob, how many?
Rob, I got stories for you. I got stories. I got stories where I got a phone call like 5 minutes after I left. I had to come back, and just me and like one other person. No reason, just because we were the ones who would stay till 2. Everyone else got to go home. You know. That's what they do.
I remember my my stepmom I had as a teenager. She's a real bitch, and she just gave me a bunch of shit for like no reason one day. And they, of course, were taking the day off to go to the zoo without me. I wasn't invited because bitchy stepmoms, they don't take you to family things, right?
That's
and
true.
Yeah, true. Bitch. And anyways, her boss calls. I pick up the phone. Yeah, I need to speak to your stepmom. And I'm just like, oh, you can't. She's at the zoo. And you know, she gave like her big work excuse why she couldn't be at work that day. I'm like, no, she's at the zoo. Bye.
Yeah, that's where she is.
But but people are fucking crazy. Like when somebody calls in like sick to work or out, you know, you don't call them at home. You don't go hunt them down. You don't follow them out to their car. But a big problem was that crunch was premeditated, says one former employee who worked at the studio under Burton. It wasn't an emergency protocol for when things went wrong. Instead, it was a tool in the box for production. Projects were planned with crunch periods in the schedule, or even worse, crunch was the schedule. It was regular occurrence between the type of game we made, movie tie-ins, kids' stocking fillers, and kids' stocking fillers. They all had deadlines dedicated by holiday event or the release of some film. So, yeah, that sounds about right. In November 2007, Warner Brothers bought TT, blah, 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 a bunch of acquisitions and titles. Yeah. Shortly after TT Games acquisition in 2008, Warner Brothers held a company-wide satisfaction survey to determine what people thought of working conditions across the studios. According to 2 people who were working at TT Games then, the results were the lowest ratings Warner Brothers had received at the time. John told us during a presentation he was going to hit the reset button.
And we were making Justice League at the time too. Remember that?
I died for him. I died for John Burton.
Gal Gadot was like, I will work with Joss before I ever work at TT.
He was going to hit the reset button in response to survey results and try to start fresh, said a former employee. He started by dropping some of the odd rules we had at the studio, disabling the internet firewall, and allowing people to answer phones at their desk. But
You couldn't answer phones at your desk, bro.
Yeah. I mean, give me a fucking break, you know?
Then why have a phone? Just take the phones away. No phones. What is supposed to? It's the strangest. Oh, you can't answer your cell phone. That's what they're saying. I think that's what they meant. Like when they say phones. I'm old. I still think there's a phone.
Yeah.
So a phone rings. You gotta get up, go out, because they don't want talking in the. So fuck. You know what's fucked up about that is they don't want devs talking, but I guarantee you that the directors and the producers were walking salespeople and schmoozing right through the hallways, talking up a fucking storm the whole time too.
Yeah.
Like I've been in that. I've been in that situation where like we don't want the art department to say anything, and then they would walk through and go, "These are like our children," and I went, "I'm not your fucking kid," and I had to get like reprimanded. That happened. That happened. I'm not your fucking kid. To the vice president of the company, you know. I'm like, what do you want to do about it? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Don't fucking call me your fucking child. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so that's when I don't buzz out it's one time I buzz out the military card at this company. Because I'm like, I'm not your fucking kid, bro. Like, you know, I served this fucking country, dude. You know, what the fuck do you do? You know, okay, take Rob in, can't talk to the company. I'm like, I'll talk to him however, then fire me. Like, I see that stuff and I'm like, that's the rules for the plebes, but it's not rules for the serfs, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I've heard so many crazy, just fucking like corporate stories throughout the years. Like, you know, I usually don't like cover that stuff. Like, you know what they do at Lucasfilm, because I've heard it so many times. Usually like somebody an upper person in management will get into like a lower rung person, and what they do there is if there's like a huge dispute, they fire both people. You ever heard of that? I've heard of it several times.
Equally, both sides.
but then here's what they do. They make a new job listing. They get rid of that job, eliminate the position, create a new position that the person who they fired is uniquely qualified for. They reapply and then they get rehired. And that is how they handle fairness there. That's how they do it. Oh, we fired so and so. Well, but we also fired the higher person, but then they hire him right back, and with the raise, and I'm not even kidding. I know of this happening several times at Lucasfilm, even with somebody who was rather famous. I won't ever say their name out. I won't do that. But somebody who was fired who was famous, and that happened to them. Anyways, Burton says, I can't respond to these points as I have continuing obligations to TT, and I don't want to risk breaking, for example, confidentiality and non-disparagement. So, what an asshole. He sounds like an asshole.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, yeah, anybody who works for him probably thinks he's a big asshole. And you know, at the same time, though, like, you know, maybe he is an asshole, but I just to play devil's advocate here, I mean, I wonder if he was being put under the, you know, is that kind of assholery top down? Are there head assholes at the top making everybody in the little tiny buttholes? You know what I mean? Along the way,
comes from a long line of assholes.
A long line of assholes. Yeah, I mean, he may be a victim of assholery too, but you know, still an asshole. So I can clarify a couple of things for you, though. I founded the company, TT, in 1989, and was owner of the company, TT Games, until I sold it to WB in 2007. I moved to California, started smoking weed, and I'm sorry. At which point, my job title first changed to creative executive, and then later to creative executive advisor. I wonder if they fired you and rehired you to get that, like Lucasfilm style. And you can imagine. Any insight into the day running of the studio ended when I moved. Not my fault. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. No, hey man, my hands are tied. My hands are tied, dude. My hands are tied. What was the line? She's on your head. It's your hand. Her life is in your hands, dude. No, hey man, her life is in your hands.
What's funny about like Lucasfilm? Lucasfilm is in no way like is awful as this. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean, paint that picture at all. But what is funny is I've noticed that people at Lucasfilm, they have this thing where like, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. I've always wanted to be here. This is why I did this.
That's the most important thing.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and then like
Yeah.
eventually that dies. And then they realize, oh, this is just another corporate shitty ass job. You know, that's how it seems to go. But 12 former employees. Oh, sorry. Is that something to say?
I was saying, but why is this all important, guys? Why are you even bringing it up, man? I just want to play the game. What do I gotta know? Because you should fucking know that your kid might be so inspired to work here that then they go work, you know, that buy that video game, that one day they dream of working at that place, and now they're living there 100 hours a fucking week until, I don't know, they have what you call like a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, like, so people know, even in the military, you're not working 100 hours a week. You know, you get fucking time off in them. You get recoup time. You get 16, 12 on, 12 off. You know, like 16 on, 12
like,
off.
Go to a bar and like you see like a pretty girl and you're like, you've lost that love and feeling, right? Like you did that, right?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. You know it. You did it. I can tell you did it.
Yeah.
No,
bro, I went to that Kansas City barbecue place across from Comic-Con. Has the worst fucking barbecue sauce I've ever tasted. It's like cat piss. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And then, but I did the song because I had to, you know. And I did it like Michael McDonald would do it, right? Because I'm not gonna attend to make that good.
Yeah. Don't do that. No, but yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like there are certain elements like when I think of the game costing $10 more, it really makes me go, wow, you know, obviously my son wants this game. He's been waiting for it. I have to get this game when it comes out. Like I have to for him. You know, he'll be devastated if he doesn't eventually get it, you know, and he's wanted it for a long time. But if the game cost $10 more, would it change everything? You know, if it would, I mean, are they just not?
But that money would never go to the devs. That money's gonna go to the CEO as a fucking bonus.
Yeah,
you know, like it's not. That's the problem. It's not. Yeah. It's
right.
Yeah, I mean, like it doesn't matter if they charge $60 for a game. Look, we had a game come out that was $60 and people were like, why is this $60 when Red Dead is fucking 49? It is not as big as Red Dead. Why does it cost more? You know, that shit. And it's like,
because Red Dead's gonna sell a million copies, they could do that.
The last one was 40. This should be the same as the last one. All right, well, you know, like this ain't.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude. I'm still bound by NDAs.
Yeah. Well, I think the same. I mean, like I don't know if you put more people on, do you just get bloat and you're actually like aren't more efficient? I don't know the industry, so
there is a complete diminishing return to the amount of people you put on. Also, like I think people don't understand, like, so when they say a new engine, right? Not everything can be Unreal in development. Okay, like Ubisoft has a bunch of custom tools. Rockstar has a bunch of custom tools that are built around making the kind of games that they make. The problem, though, with custom engines is that there's a knowledge base that disappears for that custom engine the minute people leave.
Right.
You know, and documentation is very difficult. So the transfer of skills over to a custom engine. I had a friend who worked at a major MMO company. They worked on at Sony, right? And back in the mid 2000s, and Sony had a custom world building engine for like EverQuest 2 and shit. And nobody at that studio wanted to fucking use it. But she was like, she loved EverQuest so much, she's like, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and fucking learn this shit. Ended up like tripling her pay because she was the only one willing to fucking deal with it. Yeah. You know, but like nowadays,
loved EverQuest.
Well, she fucking did she quit games though eventually too. She's like, I hate that. Eventually it catches up to you. You know, like,
if you ever talk to her, tell her I said thank you for your service.
So fucking hate that shit. So like, so it's my favorite part of Hawkeye when they keep thanking him for saving the world, and he has this look on his face, and my wife, is that what that's like? I'm like, that's what that's like.
Yeah.
It has nothing to fucking do with you people. But anyway, however, we are in a lot of developments based around best use practices, and best use practices, like mean that you can get a game out in 18 months. Right. So it's like, if you're going to hide, the talent pool has a grip of people who know Unreal development. So perhaps you invest in the money in trying to get a company. Now the idea that there's these different companies that specialize in modifying Unreal to suit your development needs. So they build you the tools and customize Unreal for you, and then you have that for your game. That's what happened on Psychonauts 2. Real smart way to work. I don't think that sort of mentality has caught on with these older companies that are like, we've always done it this way and we're not paying we could do it ourselves. Have you ever been in a company where like, man, we've always done it this way. When I started this company, we built it from scratch. Blah, blah, blah. It's not 2006, you asshole. These cats want physics collision. They don't want to be bound. Do you ever play a Lego game and it does something you don't fucking like? All the time. The reason why that's still there is because it's a bug or a feature, it's built in, they can't get around it.
Yeah.
So if you want the games to grow, and then on top of that, they didn't just make like Rise of Skywalker, the Lego game. It's called the Skywalker Saga. It's fucking 9 games,
Yeah.
So like, it's a plethora of content, El Guapo.
Yeah.
So the scale is crazy when you start to ramp up. I mean, I worked on a trilogy game with Spyro that covered 3 games. I couldn't imagine trying to make 9 like adaptations at the same time. You realize how fucking hard that is? Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, in no way would they ever have done this, but I would have been happy with just buying like a season pass of it, so to speak. And then episode 1 comes out and then episode 2 comes, you know what I mean? And then after, 9 months, I have the whole thing or something. I'd be fine with
well,
that personally.
Telltale tried that with their adventure gaming stuff. And I think what happens is by the third one in, it's like there's no marketing budget to get the word out about the other ones. Like all the marketing budget is there at the very beginning.
God, they did a prototype for a Clone Wars game that was based off of one of the unproduced episodes. And I really wish that had come out. That would have been neat. But anyways, 12 former employees say that conditions failed to improve after Burton's move, with studio manager Mike Dootson, and his successor, studio manager Paul Flanagan, Walt Flanagan's dog, maintaining an atmosphere where the overtime was expected.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
According to sources who worked at DJ Games over the past 2 decades, overtime at the studio was always presented as voluntary and paid. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Right. That's fucking...
Yeah, you're the only one leaving and everyone's staying. That'll go real fucking well.
Yeah. 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 They definitely fucking guilt... They play a guilt game, and then when you're not there, you feel like shit. You feel...
My favorite move is when they say, hey... no one go out for food. We're bringing food in. Then they take forever to get like cold pizzas ordered, right? And then or Taco Bell or some shit. And then everyone has to stop their stuff and eat. I'm like, we could have just all gone out and stopped and ate and then came. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Just let me go. I would time it. Every time I'd sit there timing, it's 45 minutes, bro. We could have taken a 30-minute lunch and I could have gotten whatever the fuck I wanted. Just to get out of here for 30 minutes, But they know we eat here and we eat at our desk. That's great,
Yeah. Somebody I was with got a job in a corporate gig, and they would just buy into the cult. You know what I mean? All of the stuff that the company said, we're like a really big believer. I was like, oh, well, here's what they're kind of doing to you. Here's what they're doing to you. And this person just thought I was just a piece of shit who didn't see how great it was. Now they see how right I was, and they hate me even more for it.
Never tell your friend not to marry somebody. I made that mistake once.
Yeah, employees could exchange overtime hours worked for extra pay or days off, while flex time hours could be exchanged only for late starts or extra holiday. Flex time also had a 40-hour cap, according to staffers. This meant that employees could hit the limit and not get any benefit for hours they were putting in beyond it. If there was still work that they needed to stay behind and finish. Yeah, that sounds shitty.
Yeah, typical bullshit.
Yeah. Several employees say it was extremely difficult to turn down working additional hours. And yeah, what you would expect. Half a dozen staffers said it was not uncommon to work 80 to 100 hours, 6 days a week while crunching. The expectations didn't impact every department in the same way, with sources saying that programmers, visual effects, and animators, animation were getting some of the worst teams hit, as well as contractors who were also about full-time employment opportunities and asked to prove themselves. Oh, that sucks.
Bro, they're never hiring. So let me tell you how this generally works, right? Concept art and development is all contractual because they don't feel keeping people on staff to draw the ideas and develop them is production worthy. They only want to hire people that are creating tangible assets. That's what they call it, right. Tangible assets. And I'm like, well, how the fuck are they going to model shit if we don't have art for it? You know? So like fine, leave us alone. Go model a whole fucking game with no art. See where that gets you.
Yeah.
But what they also do is they'll part of that but here's the trick. Okay, you can say, well, the art's not really in the game. Doesn't matter, man. Just come and go. It's the way it is. All right. 3D modeling seem important to you? Well, yeah, they don't. The individual models are contract work because they don't give a shit. They need the engine, the in-game stuff, that world stuff is in-house because it's directly tied to the engine programming. Right. So anytime there's a major bug, it's not the model that generally is there, it's the model interacting with the whole world. So that world where it all gets put together ties into programming. Animation's important because they want to keep adding animations. And so the game Elden Ring's coming out, and a lot of fans were bitching because they're like, we've said that we had these animations in Dark Souls since blah, 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 blah. Why are they giving us the same thing we've already bought? We need new animations. And it's like, well, do you want them to spend another fucking 2 years remaking a slightly new variation on the animation? Like, does Mario need to have a new fucking run and jump? Is that what you want to spend them?
You better,
or do you want them to... Or should they be spending their time making actual content, like quests and world, real solid world design? You know, actual handcrafted world design? Or do you want that procedural shit so I just get a lot of it? I don't care what it is. People have no idea.
It's me, a Mario, and it's the same one he used before. Yeah. What the fuck? What
you
the
can't
fuck
fucking tell.
What the fuck kills me, brother?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Why they're like Marvel vs. Capcom 3068 is actually the best version because it has all the shit. I thought it's such a catch-20. They love Mortal Kombat Quintrilogy when it puts all the fucking shit they have in there, right? So It's just one of those things, man. That culture exists at almost every game studio. The degree to which it's toxic depends on the leadership involved, right? So the contract thing ain't changing pretty much anywhere short of an industry-wide culture shift. The crunch thing, that's entirely a choice. It doesn't produce better results. It doesn't give you more content. It is 100%. The difference is maybe 12 months difference on a game. And you're like, well, that makes everything would have to be out this holiday. Well, your game's been delayed for 5 fucking years. So what did that holiday turnaround time mean to you? Now it's shipping in March. With 5 years later. So it doesn't work the way people think, So
yeah, well, I mean, so far, what we're kind of seeing too is that by pushing people to the brink, didn't actually get results either. It didn't.
Correct.
We can't go, oh, you were really cracking that whip, but at the end, the consumer, we sure are happy. We're actually been what the fuck? What is going on? The game should have been out 2 years ago. What's happening here? So I mean, it even goes. They basically. I suggest reading this whole article, by the way, but. Yeah, I skipped to this part. To add to this, staff say there was much of the pre-production of the Skywalker saga had been done with the old engine in mind. That created problems when trying to implement the game's design. and assets and animation had to be re-exported and reintegrated. According to some staffers, the struggles with the new engine were the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. Some CEO or some leader over there, production leader, was like, I'm gonna be the guy who saves the company. I'm gonna spearhead this new engine and it's gonna solve all our problems. And really it's just a big me tag. Yeah. You know, like it's a big me engine, not like a get things done thing. Like it doesn't.
Listen, Rob, over here at TT Games, we have an open door policy. All right, I just want everybody to tell me what's going on.
Can open the door and walk the fuck out.
There's low morale. Let's just get to it. Okay, how about where are you going? Go back to your desk. Hang up that phone. Okay. Yeah. So several team members took their concerns to Tom Stone and informed him about the low morale. And Stone responded by holding a series of meetings where anyone could voice their feedback about the company. Essentially, someone communicated to Tom that the mood in the studio wasn't great. Pay attention, Tom. Look fucking around you. So Tom got half.
He's like, but I'm doing awesome. I bought a new Tesla. What's the problem?
He's like, listen, baby. I've been golfing. Okay, you guys make the Lego games work. You make the Lego games do the bricks connect. All right.
We're like family here. My family abandoned and abused me, so I don't really fucking appreciate that statement.
All right, we're more like your Olive Garden family. How's that? Okay.
I wish they would have the balls to say that. That would be funny. All right, at least they're being honest.
Half of the studio into one meeting. The other half were probably busy fucking working their 60th hour. And half the studio into a second meeting. Okay, so they both got together. And essentially split people off into groups so that they could talk about what they liked and disliked about the studio. And at the end of the day, you could see this huge list of terrible things and this tiny crop of good things on the left. And he's gotten this feedback from multiple groups. Reached for comment, Stone said, I noticed towards the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, I definitely felt things were not right. I can tell you now, I had no reports of bullying. No one ever came to me and said I had been bullied or I had been discriminated against or I'd been picked on. No one ever said that. People said it's tough working here. We work long hours. People don't communicate with us. But also, to give it balance, we had plenty of people even say the same. I absolutely love being here and I love working on Lego games because they want to keep their fucking job. Nobody likes you. They're not your family. They're not.
They got rent. They got food. They don't want the trouble.
Yeah, nobody. They're afraid of retaliation. They have grown up in homes where if they say the truth, they get smacked in the mouth, and then they go into a business, environment, and they don't want to say the truth. They don't want to seem.
And not just at that studio. If you say something bad there, these people go to different studios. So what if you're at another place and you're now working with your former boss who you fucking talk shit about? Once and then, fuck. Well,
I mean, how fucking stupid do you, have to be to think that anybody wants to be at work? Nobody wants to be at work. Nobody loves being at work for the most part. I mean, that is, if you take that and you go, well, I heard what I need to hear, you're just looking for the confirmation bias that you need to feel good about being a piece of shit. Like you're either stupid or you're a piece of shit or a stupid piece of shit. But I said that I wanted to know everything that was going on. So maybe they did care. I don't know. But I didn't want it to be just about, well, that's wrong, and that's wrong. I wanted them to say, well, why do you come to work? Because I need to get paid, bitch. Why do you think?
Why do you even come here if you hate it so much, man? What's your issue? Why?
I mean, you get to play Legos all day, right? What inspires you? How do you feel about making Lego games? What do you think about the environment? What do you think about the atmosphere in the office? How are you all? It was that. After these meetings, employees say TT Games offered new contracts to staff. Okay, now that sounds like they were trying. I mean, I will give them, for as infuriatingly stupid as the situation was to get there, it does sound like they were trying to not let it turn into a complete cluster.
Everyone gets a pizza party every Thursday, so we can all get fat. All right. They tried.
After these meetings, employees say TT Games offered new contracts to staff, which gave them holidays and a higher percentage of a bonus at the end of the year. Oh, see that doesn't which it gave them more holidays and a higher percentage. That didn't fix the problem, though.
We're not going to increase your pay, but we'll give you a bonus 12 months later. You know what I mean? And what's that bonus? $500. Like, fuck you. I'll take the pay.
Yeah, I mean,
I got rent today.
I'm not exactly sure what more holidays means. What does that mean? That they got like Martin Luther King Day off or something? You know what I mean? That's like,
well,
that's
it's the
great.
UK, so they got probably Cromwell Day. Okay. Right, they got Tim Tams Day, like, being real sensitive. Cadbury Day, I don't fucking know, man. Yeah.
Remembering Princess Diana Day, maybe.
Oh shit, the paparazzi day.
I will say the idea of royalty is disgusting, so I really don't give a fuck. Fuck them all. But more than 10 current and former employees say little else changed inside the company during that time period. Yeah, I mean, what they were offering them was just. I mean, clearly it was just like, here's a bit more, but we're not going to fix the fact that you're fucking exhausted, that you can't see your kids and chill, or have kids, have relationships and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't fix your life. Stone left the company the next year to pursue other opportunities. Yeah,
other opportunities. Yeah.
So the biggest Lego game yet. Beyond NTT, former staff also told Polygon about the other issues of Skywalker Saga's development, including feature creep. They say management told employees early on that Skywalker Saga was supposed to mark changes in the company's working conditions, but it eventually grew into what many now refer to as TT Games' biggest project yet. The management coining the phrase "strive for 85" to refer to the game's potential Metacritic score. Strive for 85.
Man, dude, I'm gonna tell you something. This is how much I gotta praise Toys for Bob. Nobody ever fucking mentioned what our Metacritic score had to be.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. And why does that matter? Because you're just focused on making the thing you're working on the coolest that thing can be. You're not focused on what does that mean in 85? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I can tell you that the highest Metacritic score at present is 83 for Lego Marvel Superheroes for PS4. So that's what it means. Yeah, but I don't know how does an employee go, I know that this animation, I think I'm giving us like a good 2% jump here, you guys. I think I'm really jumping.
Yeah, like it doesn't. It's so, these Metacritic scores are based. It's an aggregate of people who fucking review your game, and then boom, and that means you get this big score. It's so fucking dumb, because if you've ever worked in games journalism, I have, for quite a many years, real game magazines. And let me tell you how it works. The person reviewing it ain't always a fan of that fucking genre. So they'll be like, hey, you fucking do this on Tuesday. I fucking hate Lego. Oh, well, you do it. Give it a fucking C. Now somebody doesn't get a fucking bonus they were promised for the last 5 fucking years because they had some asshole had to fucking review it on a Thursday who straight up just wanted to be that guy's like, fuck Lego games and this corporate bullshit. And Lego shouldn't be about video games. It should be about real blocks, and this is imaginary you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the counterculture goes, you know what? That's a good take. We're all gonna fucking take that take because clickbait fucking mania is running wild on YouTube. And now all this now you got a 63% Metacritic, and it's probably a perfectly great game. For 5 years later, they're like, here's a game that was actually really good and didn't deserve it, and I don't know why you people all missed out and why that team ain't together anymore. All right.
It's just like looking at the content that they produce, it's somewhat critic proof. It's like kids are going to buy your Harry Potter game because it's Harry Potter, and most people who buy it are it's going to be like parents buying. Oh, I know my kids are. It's okay if they play with Star Wars. It's okay if they play with Harry Potter. It's okay if they play with superheroes.
Okay, but here's what the thing: if you get a B across the board, everyone gives you a solid fucking B. All right, it's still 80%.
Yeah.
You need to get A's. And what if there are bugs or it's missing co-op features? Or why doesn't this have a battle royale online? The multiplayer is outdated. And why is this only available on a $600 system when I want it available on a fucking $100 system? The reviews.
Yeah, right here. It's what it's getting into. These are battle royale, right? Okay. The director would request new mechanics on a whim.
Yeah.
And then asked us to change.
Yeah, we'll just hit the battle royale button.
Yeah. It reminds me of when they were fucking throwing ragtag away, and the guy's like, PUBG is the model of the future. All of a sudden, because that was like the last good game he played. PUBG is great; it's a huge game.
Assholes.
But I mean, it's just like it didn't erase all genre. It's like, what a moron.
Yeah.
But every review of a Lego game, they always said the same thing. Platforming is pants. The camera is terrible. No online co-op. So let's add a God of War style combat tree. 5-year-olds will love it. Sources also say that despite the importance, yeah, it really is. I mean, that despite the importance of the Skywalker saga, the studio always had multiple projects going on at one time, and that the staff were often moved around, putting more pressure on those that remained on the Star Wars game. A lot of staff got taken off the game in early 2020 to focus on another project as a former staff member. This made zero sense to me at the time. For example, Star Wars got taken down to about 6 artists to see it through to the end. But there were still thousands of bugs to work through and feedback to be done. It made zero sense to take any staff off Star Wars, let alone most of them. As a result,
this other game we'll be able to get out in 3 months, and that Star Wars game's probably got another 12 months of development, and we need to get this game out to make the money. So everyone on this one,
Regarding the development, Skywalker Saga and its delays, a spokesperson for TT Games provided this statement: "Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is the most ambitious title the studio's ever undertaken. The team is
6 guys. It's the most ambitious title 6 guys at the studio have ever. Yeah. Sorry, six developers, and not all fucking dudes. Yeah. I want to make certain I stress that.
In the hey you guys sense, the electric company style. The team is determined to deliver a wonderful Lego experience to our players, and we are giving the game the time it needs to deliver on that aspiration. We greatly appreciate the support and understanding from our fans." Okay.
The timing. Everyone's Blizzard, right? Like, oh, and by the way, I can't say that. Never mind.
Under new management, through 2020, TT Games made a number of changes to its upper management. In March 2020, the company appointed former Sony Worldwide Studios Vice President Michael Denny as vice president and studio head. Then in August 2020, TT Games. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't believe that's a real name. When they hired John IHOP too.
Hi, I'm Michael Denny, and we're gonna
get John IHOP
over my hammy.
No! This is Michael Pancakes.
Oh shit! John Flapjack says, "Get to work! Get to work!"
Johnny Flapjacks.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm a tech guy, actually, Jason. I can tell you that this is how tech works.
He's a tech guy. When I'm a tech guy. At the time, and his reasons for leaving, Walt Flanagan said, "Given the seniority of my position, whilst." Man, whenever you guys say, I'm just going to let you guys know, whenever you're British and you say whilst, Americans want to punch you in the face. I'm just being honest with you right now.
I like it. I feel like I'm in a JRPG. I like it.
Yeah. It's literally trying too hard. Given the seniority of my position whilst at TT, it would not be appropriate for me to comment on the day-to-day running of the studio. Any decisions that were made and how they were decided. The way that we abuse our employees is literally between us, the parents, and they are our kids who we abuse. So
you don't have a right to tell my family what to do. States' rights.
Yeah. You fucking tell them, Steve Dave. Regarding my departure, I left TT over a year ago, and now after just over 16 amazing years, I'm now focused on building a new studio at 1010 Games, where you will work 10 out of 10 days. 10 out of 10 hours. Yeah, basically, it's 100% of the time. If you really want to get down to it, it's 100%. Yeah. Since his arrival, Denny, a.k.a. Flapjack, aka Danny Huevos, has been a device.
Well, Danny Huevos and Danny Trejo are scrambled eggs. You know, oh, shit.
Danny Trejo's Lego Star Wars, executive produced by Danny Huevos.
I think Danny Huevos should be the Danny Trejo like Fox Kids show. You know,
right?
It's Danny Huevos. I'm Danny Huevos. You know, and he's just going to kindergarten and shit. It's like his Bobby's World.
Excuse me, Danny Huevos, can I have the day off? Chupa my huevos.
No.
I guess no.
He's one of the kids, though. It's good. It'd be funnier if Trejo was one of the kids. He's a little kid in kindergarten, but he's got Trejo's voice.
Trejo died, and he's actually possessed a child, so we just hired the child at his scale.
It's Danny Huevos.
Literally, his scale and as in his price point and the scale of the child. So, Chief,
look, everybody, these are kids' games, and we need a kid to be in charge of the game because we need the people. We need the people. Look, 85. When this bitch hits 85, you're gonna see some serious bonuses.
So what happens is like they're having like a big schedule meeting at TT, and then they cut over to Danny Trejo, and he like looks at it, and he has like this building in his hand. He's like, I don't get it. Like big.
Yeah, I know. I've met Danny Trejo, by the way. Super fucking nice dude.
I've actually met him.
I don't mean like at a con. I mean like he came. We actually had the Danny Trejo shirt license. Yeah. So like he came over, and I was like, I don't know how we're gonna sell this, but I fucking love you, man. Like
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, if you live in LA, you've run into him. He's practically a local celebrity when you get down to it. I mean, he's just at so many fucking things, dude. Like over the years.
Man, I know you betrayed the team, but I get it. You know,
the departure of Parsons and Flanagan were met with mixed reception. Some saw it as a fresh start and a way for the studio to finally address some of the issues they had long ignored, while others were just as critical of the direction of the new management because they were beaten down. They were beaten down by capitalism. We've confirmed that at least 40 employees have left TT Games and IT Fusion since the start of 2021. 40 employees. I mean, they can't deny that anything is.
They only need 6. What are you talking about? You only need 6.
36. I mean, they could have made 7 Lego Star Wars games with those employees, according to their own metrics.
Bro, that's still too shy of the fucking one game they're trying to make. It's the Skywalker Saga, so you got 7 episodes, that's 7 games. I mean, how much content could you imagine? It says the Skywalker Saga, but there's only like one level that features a couple sets from a movie. No, think about how much content that has to be, guys. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. So current and former staff also see parallels with what's happening. Blah blah blah. Sony Manchester. A spokesman of TT Games did not answer specific questions about the company's issues, but provided us with the following statement about the current work culture. TT Games is committed to creating a respectful, fair, and inclusive workplace for every employee. There have been many efforts in recent years with the new studio leadership and the support of Warner Brothers Games to nurture a collaborative culture and work-life balance our employees can be proud of. Our legacy of delighting fans with the games we have created over the years is very important to us. We recognize it's just like, if you're gonna, honestly, being so fucking corporate makes it worse. You know what I mean? Like you're making it worse right now. We recognize.
I've worked for Lego. I've worked with the Lego license. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't understand about all this. Lego's super fucking progressive's not quite the word, but they don't. So like, let me give you an example. In 2012, Lego decided, the whole company, that they were going to not allow anyone to use plastisol inks on their merchandise. They want everything to be water-based for the environment. Water-based inks. Now, water-based inks and t-shirts require a completely different system to get done. It's super complex. You can do maybe half or a third of the volume that you could do as plastisol inks, because plastisol inks have like a spinner rack with like 20 fucking things that spin them around, press. Water based, it's one at a time. It's super fucking different. They were like, look, we'll just not do any business. We won't even do shirts. We don't even, they would say the shirts are just merchandising. We don't give a shit. So either you fucking change, if you need the money, you need the Lego sales. We don't need the shirt sales. Lego doesn't need this game. Telltale needs the Lego game. So what I don't understand is, how has Lego not ripped the fucking license from them? Like, who over there is greasing the fucking Lego ball, buttering the Lego ball at Lego? Because I imagine they would have just pulled this shit by now, because they don't need this. Like, it's weird.
I'm gonna give them the squid head. No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I believe that the Revolutionary War was fought over wireless. When Meg says it, it's okay. Meg can say it because she sounds fancy. I believe Meg is pretty fancy.
That was just something that was in the. I can't see the.
Okay.
Comments anymore. So
Star Wars Senna says, Matt Meg, I will laugh my butt off if you include whilst in your video tomorrow. And she says, I will. I will, Santa.
Whilst. The Journal of Whilst.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I mean, it's just so it sucks that people have to suffer the quote crunch to make something as arbitrary as a Lego Star Wars game. I mean, people don't live forever. Like, it's people's lives. Like, people's life force, if you will, is being spent on this. and I don't know. I question if it's worth it. I mean, I can say I have a little boy in my house who is going to be elated when it comes out, to say the least, and is going to have a good time with it. But yeah, it
doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah,
I've helped ship games that are just as big in certain ways. It doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
It doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I
for agree. A fucking Lego game, man. Like, and fucking any game. Like, I don't. This is why when someone goes, "Oh man, but Rob, another Red Dead," I'm like, do you know how many fucking? I have friends that literally work at Walmart because they'd rather work at Walmart than deal with working at Rockstar.
Yeah.
Well, it's changed. Well, you work there. You telling me it's changed? You know that you're there every day. Like, what do you know? Like, because I read an article somewhere. I read a whole thing about like Yuzums the other day. Like, I don't mean it's true. We read all sorts of shit on the UFO show. Like, some things are so. Look, the scale of games is absurd. So, like, think about this. Like, when the Netflix was putting out those Marvel shows like Daredevil and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like, those were 13 episodes because Netflix we're doing 13 episodes. Everyone who watched the show says, I love this, but it could have been 10. Right? Book of Boba Fett, 7 episodes, but you know what? This could be like 4 or 5. Doesn't really need to be. So what you're really saying is it doesn't need to be, 7 or 8 hours. It could be 5 hours. So a game doesn't need to be 100 fucking hours or 50 hours. It can easily be a 10-hour game. No. That's a short game. 10 hours of your life. If it was a 10-hour series, you'd be complaining. You'd be saying it's just right,
When I see the fact that like one version of Lego Star Wars I bought when I was still in college, that's how long ago I bought that game, and my kid is playing it now. He wasn't even conceived. I wasn't even dating his mother when I bought it. You know what I mean? And I see it. I see like how this 9-part thing, it has like, it's going to have longevity. And like, so I understand that making it like really big and quote, getting it right or whatever. And like, I respect like that concept and the concept of making something that's going to really bring in revenue and going to matter for a long time. Like, I like that, but it's like, I mean, there had to have been a better way. I mean, like, how they have like those character packs coming, and maybe they could have like packed released the game in a bare bones, and then a year later released a version with all the packs that you could have bought along the way. And I know people don't like those microtransactions, but I mean, maybe that's how it has to be. I mean, if it's the only way, because I mean, obviously, like exploiting people isn't the way. That's the Mandalorian.
But level design isn't as simple. Okay, so let's make a level based on fucking Ewok Force. What does that mean? You understand? Like, games are based around game flow and a gameplay loop, generally speaking, unless it's multiplayer, and so that gameplay loop is more tied into like a community like return system.
Sorry, I just saw what Krub said about me.
Rob? Where's Rob? But get used to those questions for the next fucking 6 months. So, I'm in hiding. Mm-hmm. I'm hiding from TT. Whilst I hide from TT.
so what happened was we were actually trying to get the scoop on Polygon. We were interviewing people at TT. Rob went to a function with them, got really drunk with them, and got a face tattoo. And he won't show his face until he gets it removed. But it says TT on his forehead right now. He's all about the company.
I believe it. Mm-hmm. I believe that. That sounds legit. I believe it.
Okay, so
I don't even know what I was saying. Lost my fucking train of thought.
Since Tuscan is here, how's it going, Tuscan? I don't know if you've been here before. I don't recognize you around these parts. So welcome to the show. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think that the Tuscan mom and son are alive? Because I think they're alive. That's a guess I have right now. I think they're alive, and I think that it's gonna go down where at the end it's standoff with the Pikes. Boba's just blasting the shit out of everything. He's running Rancors up walls. He's got rockets firing off his back, blowing people up. And then the Pikes are going to be like, but we have these two. And then they're going to be like, oh, shit. And then we're like, uh-oh, what's he going to do?
You think the Pikes have been holding those two hostage this whole time?
I think it's my guess.
I don't think so.
Well, how I would do it or how I imagine it going down is that the chief is holding them off and sends the boy and the mother to protect the boy. He's the heir, he's the ongoing line. So she takes him, but then they end up getting captured. They end up getting picked up, and then they are then held once somehow, if they should know that he's walking around in Tuscan robes. So it might not be it might be very obvious to them that he has a connection and he's been brokering for them. So they might be doing that. They might be holding them just in case he did pull off getting a fire spray and blowing up the whole gang and doing what he plans on doing, because they have to know that his plans are to become powerful on Tatooine, and they don't want any new up and comers. They like things exactly how it is, I would think. And so I'm hoping. While
we are committed to all the Tatooine people having the opportunities of being on Mos Espa Fords.
Okay.
The Pike should be using corporate speak.
Yeah. Well, let me propose something else that I don't know if has been really thrown out there before, but maybe. Just going to throw it out there. You have a character called Black Chrysanthemum, and maybe there's some weird getting out ahead of having something called Black Chrysanthemum with Slave One. Maybe they feel like it's just putting the words in the thought bubbles above our heads. I don't know. Is that a bit conspiratorial? Is that a bit of a reach? I don't know. But when you go with the assumed reason, and you have you start to have a lot of things about why they might not want it to be called that. And I don't know though.
This is the thing I care the least about. They don't want the word slave one on a bunch of toys. If you're a capitalist, then you should be like, hey man, that's capitalism. Got to make more money. We don't want the fucking problems. Like, that's it. You can't. I know it sounds like a knee-jerk response, but they live in that world where they're like, hey, corporations got to do a corporate, but now Disney's the evil one. All right, well, they blew up a whole fucking planet. I imagine there's kids on there too. Like here's some Lucasfilm edict that predates Disney, because I worked for their fucking licensing. You can't put fucking blasters on shirts. Can't put blasters on shirts because that's a gun.
Yeah.
But then Lucas will too, but they're not guns or blasters. Okay, so I can put that. No, it's a gun. Can't do it. What do you want me to do, man?
Yeah.
So I put no blasters on a shirt and I got in trouble for writing the words no blasters on a shirt. You said put no blasters, so I put no blasters on a shirt. And I got in trouble, dude. You're antagonizing the licensors. I'm like, I'm trying to follow the rules.
I really do think that that like on the Slave One issue, that they should have owned it. If they feel like there's something wrong with it, but yet they have sold Slave One products, profited off of the it or whatever, I don't think you just push it down. Like, I just think you make it, you 100%. Put it in the story. Like he calls it as fire spray. You have Fennec go, what's this baby called? And then he goes, it used to be called the Slave One, but now I don't think it's, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's appropriate. Something like that. And then she's all, so what are we going to call it? We call that the fire spray. Just do that. Just do something instead of leaving it like hanging in this weird space that they have that makes it not go away. But I'm probably, not saying I'm important, but I'm probably part of the problem that I keep talking about it too. But it's definitely, it's like, it's just.
I just can't imagine someone who wakes up every day in a global pandemic with fucking crazy inflation and fascism and is going, fucking that ship. Yeah. Like, seriously, there's other shit to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about you guys, but I'm part of that generation that had a He-Man, and then one day they gave He-Man a long ponytail and put everyone in fucking space. Like, Thank
you for your service.
Everyone said they took away our bikinis. But now you get a rabbit otter in a bikini. So like,
oh, but then they gave us those flash dance movies. Oh, that last episode.
Come on,
thank you, Disney. Thank you, Disney. Giveth. Look, Disney take it. Disney giveth.
I told Bob at that meeting that he should get Beals. I've been trying so hard, to get that. I tried.
Yeah, Peter's like, or just blow it up, and get a new one.
Yeah.
But as the truth says, reading the article earlier felt awful. I already had a few people tell me they don't care. We know the release date. Yeah, I think that's just people not really understanding the actual situation or what it's like to work in a hellhole. They just haven't, maybe.
Gamers are. I'm not gonna say gamers are the worst. When someone's a fan of, like this, if you're a fan of football, American or the rest of the fucking world, right? Whatever it is, if you're a fan of a sports team, do you think more practice means, that means the more practice you do, that guarantees we're gonna win a championship?
Nope.
You just keep doing practice. The day of practice, 1,000 push-ups a day. Practice. Is playing every day in a band going to make certain that fucking you have the number one album? You think that's the fucking answer?
Gotta work smarter, not harder. That's what I say. But yeah,
banana time.
No, you're right. It's like gamers aren't awful, but gaming culture can be pretty awful. A lot of the culture in gaming is awful. That's just kind of what it comes down. Like Tuscan's all, I'll say it, gamers suck. But it's like you take this like percentage of people like I have these days where I'm like, God, Star Wars culture, it's fucking terrible on both sides of left or right. And it's just like, what? Really? It's just a bunch of bad actors who make it all seem shitty when it's really kind of not. It doesn't have, at least it doesn't have to be, but the loudest.
I've known plenty of gamers who constantly raise money and they do good and they're not assholes. And I've worked with developers that are great. And I have worked for a studio that made me in the past year want to never draw again.
Yeah.
I literally this year, I'm a guy who's like, man, I'm super like, I've been there. I understand what this is. And can you say, Rob, well, did someone specifically tell you to, like, no, they do a real good job of making absolutely certain there's never a direct paper trail to one person,
Right.
And so, like, and the whole time you're like, well, this would help my career, or this would look good on a resume, or this is what everyone says I should have been doing, so I'm going to fucking kill myself. But at the end of the day, man, like, You know, like I'm fortunate that I don't have to do something, but I still did it. And if I woke up tomorrow and had to go through, I'd rather go through, I'll take 1,000,000 shots in the fucking arms. You know what I mean? And deal with pandemic versus going through a company like that ever again. Like I don't want to go through those t-shirt companies that I did 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Like, I mean, I had an owner of a company who got into, like, he'd come out and just curse at everyone, and the art director threw a chair at him. You know what I mean? And that was just like a normal fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
I didn't have that in the army. I can't up and throw a fucking chair. The drill sergeant can't throw chairs at you. Like, that's, businesses are ran worse than our militaries, and our militaries do horrendous fucking things all the fucking time through ineptitude, you know? So, like, I've worked through both. So I just, what does this mean to Star Wars? Well, it just means that be really fucking appreciative when something comes out. You know, because the fact that even Boba Fett, right? If it's not your show, if it is your show, hey man, the fact that this thing even exists is almost a fucking miracle. You know, how many of these people had to get coordinated together for anything to come out, you know? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Peter, Tuesday, stop, drop, roll, chair incoming.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
I
mean, it's fascinating. I mean, it's fascinating what it takes to get these things out, to make it happen, and all that kind of stuff. It's also kind of unfortunate, you know. And yeah, I mean, hopefully,
I'm gonna get a text. Did you mention the chair thing again? Why you gotta keep bringing that up? I do. I get that. It's a friend of mine. We became good friends, but I'm like, because it's fucking nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a job once where the owner of the company was always cheating on his wife, and I would have to tell him when his wife was coming, and if I didn't, then he would get really mad at me. And I had to hide his girlfriend and her kids in the bathroom one time.
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah. And then after that, you know, he gave me a big old wad of bills to thank me. But I'm like, man, I just want to work a job. Like, I don't really want to, help you in your adultery, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. I mean, plus, you know, you got your own childhood. Like, you're having PTSD flashbacks to, you know, like it's complex.
Don't put me into your guilty sphere, man. I don't want anything to do with it, you know? But yeah, people in jobs are fucking awful. I mean, they at least they like can be, you know. I just hope that, like, the West, if you will, fixes its problems, and, you know, cuts these billionaires down, makes them really, really well off millionaires who never need to work again if they don't want to. I'm perfectly happy with that being an obtainable thing, but, you know, it needs to like, a lot of the stuff just needs to change across the board, you know. Like somebody, did you see that meme going around where, you know, there's like me today, me 10 years ago? You seen that one? It's like a picture of, they'd be like,
I saw that going around
20 years ago, and then like the girl today, right? And you're like, oh, you're so much better looking now, or you were so cute back then. Well, somebody took it and they put the minimum wage. It's the same.
Right, it's the same.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like, yeah, good point. Yeah. You know, but yeah, stuff like that. Because I mean, but fuck, it's messed up.
Those are for dumb people.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, you know, it's like, you know, you question, like, what is the value, like, in this, like, Polygon article and stuff like that, and you know, I don't know, maybe kids growing up are going to realize, not that it means they deserve it and it should be that way, but what it actually means. Because, you know, like, when you're a kid, you just think like, oh, you know, I get there and I start doing it, and then I'm making the stuff I love, happy, the end. You don't think any further. You know what I mean? Like, you just, I'm there, I'm making the, you know, you've had those kind of gigs, you know, like what that is. And it's like, so maybe these kind of articles really make it realistic, and maybe it changes the culture over time. I don't know if it does, but maybe it will. Maybe.
To liken it to gamers, you ever really wait for a game forever and then it's like, oh, that wasn't that great? That's what it's like to work there.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah.
That's why when I worked at Toys for Bob, the very first, and I could say this, like the very first week or two I was there, I just saw the difference. I sent an email to the producer. I said, look, I just want you guys to know, to the producer and the director of the game, you're running a tremendously wonderful crew here. You know what I mean? Like this is fantastic. And you should, I don't know if anyone's told you this, but like everyone there should be congratulated for this. Like it's fantastic. And I just wanted to say that, and they were like, thank you. We really actually worked on that. Like they were the diamond in the rough, like it's so, and no one knows who they were. I don't know who they are. Well, I don't fucking care. Like I'll work. They were great. Like not being able to work at Toys for Bob breaks my heart on a daily basis.
Right.
I work for other places and it's like, oh, like I felt, like Lucas with the hair pull.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, yeah. No, like whenever I have a job, like in some place, I always give it way more than I ever should. And it's like funny because when they don't push, you actually you do it willingly. And when they do push, it's like, why are you doing this? You don't have to. Most of the time you don't have to. Most people want to, do want to work. I was kind of joking earlier when I was saying people don't want to go to work, but people don't want to go to work when they're fucking burnt out and they're like spent, and they've been doing fucking 60-hour weeks for like months, And
they want time off and then come back and regroup. Like in a way, like a sports team, you don't, let's do NFL 12 months in the year, no breaks. Everyone dying left and right, like legs being broken on the field. Everyone's got CRT.
Tuscan says, do you think it will rain on Tatooine by the end of the season? I think it's going to hail. I think it's going to snow. Hoth Wampa's going to come out and fucking bite his face off at the end. You're like, what? Didn't see that coming, M. Night. M. Night's Book of Boba Fett. That's how it ends. But all right, well, we've done our 2 hours today. I didn't think we were going to get 2 hours. I honestly thought we were going to have like a half-hour show today. So yeah, I was telling you, man, I'm always like, I never know what it's going to. It's all Little Surf Man. I don't know if it comes up. Does it? Yeah, it does come up. Well, Little Surfer. Yeah, Boba's going to go surfing. But yeah, he's all, yo, you guys are still alive. Yeah, we are. So anyways, but we're going to end the show here. Rob is going to go back to the neither world. I'm going to have lunch. I know that stuff doesn't need it, but I'm hungry. But anyways, we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. doing what we do. What is today?
How many people waited for my image to move? Man, I'm holding that position the whole time.
Really still. It's really still.
It's my blue steel move.
Yeah. Oh, and before I forget, Revenge Guy, he sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, I'm available if you guys want me on." I had already lined up the show and sent out the invites the night before because I was gonna sleep in and be exhausted, so I didn't have to do it when I got up. I didn't see it until way later. But any day you want to jump on with us and hang out with us, by all means, dude. Just let me know. Even let me know in chat if I miss it. Okay. But yeah. And so, anyways, thanks to everyone who's a channel member, Patreon supporter, and like the video. I guess it probably matters. I should be telling you guys to like, and if you're new, you should subscribe. If you don't, you're a real Humpty Munchie, whatever this person's name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks
for this Maximus.
I always appreciate the old Dark Maximus. But we'll be back tomorrow, and yeah, if you're a boss, don't be an asshole.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.